I am so excited to be in the ancient city of Ephesus. You see, I have a friend with me here who is asking me for something, but I don't know what he's saying. But anyway, in the city of Ephesus, something that I want to talk to you about today. If I were to ask you, what is the most famous passage in the Bible about love? Who wrote it? Who wrote the most famous passage about love? I think you might say, oh, that was the Apostle Paul. 1 Corinthians 13. He's the one who said, if I don't have a love, I ain't got nothing. And he said, love is patient, love is kind. And so we know the most famous passage in the Bible about love was written by this apostle, Paul. He knew he was headed to Jerusalem, and he knew from there he was going to Rome, but he also knew that he was going to be arrested and suffer. And so he was making rounds and saying goodbye to everyone. And he had spent 2 years in Ephesus here, teaching in a school, making disciples, and evangelism was advancing incredibly because of the work he was doing in Ephesus. But the apostle didn't stop back by Ephesus as he was saying goodbyes. Instead, he sent for the elders of Ephesus. Come to me, I need to talk to you. One of the important things he wanted to tell them as he was saying goodbye, he said, I won't see you again. He wanted them to have a warning, give them a warning. After I'm gone, there are going to be wolves that come into the flock, and they're going to tear you apart. There are even going to be some of you that rise up. You're going to cause division with one another. And that was just grievous and painful to Paul to think about. But here he has to say goodbye and just, commend them to God. He's praying for them, though. And he writes about this prayer in the book of Ephesians. In Ephesians chapter 3, he writes a prayer where he says, I pray that you are filled with the love of God. Oh, that you just could understand the love of God, that you would just be rooted and grounded in the love of God. Oh, that you could understand the length, height, depth, and breadth of this love that would pass his knowledge. He is praying for real serious about their understanding of love. Okay, then he's gone. He's arrested. He's put in jail. I want you to think of another apostle. His name is John. John was also arrested, and while he is on the island of Patmos in prison, he has a vision. Jesus gives him messages to 7 churches. The very first church that Jesus wants to talk to him about is the church of Ephesus. And what does he have to say to them? He says, I'm proud of you. You're good. I love you. But I got one thing against you. You have left your first love. Well, wait a minute. How's this happen? Paul prayed. Paul warned them. But Jesus said, you need to remember the height from whence you have fallen. What is the height? The height was love. They had fallen from a height of love. And I need you to get back up. Get up and love. And so Paul died in prison. But when John is released from prison, history shows us that he came to Ephesus. He spent the last years of his life in Ephesus. Let's not wonder why. Because if I were to ask you which of the apostles was actually most famous for love, you might answer me, oh, that would be John. John, who preached love. He preached always, beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God. He preached the most famous thing anybody knows about God. What is it? God is love. That was John. He has this message for Ephesus. Remember the height of love and get back up there. Get up in love. Here is John, who's thinking, these people need to learn about love. That's my message. That's what I'm preaching. Here is Paul, who is praying for the Ephesians to know about love. And Paul's prayer is answered for these people to know the love of God by sending John the Beloved, the preacher of love, to Ephesus to spend all of his last years. Paul, he pioneered the church in Ephesus, but John is the one who saw them deeper into the revelation that Paul had prayed so earnestly for them to get, the revelation of the love of God. My point here is that God is an amazing planner. He is good at his job. He's good at what he does. He's better at it than you can even imagine. And so we need not ever give God any suggestions. We need not even recommend to him how he should do his job, because he knows how to do what he's doing. Now here is Paul in prison. It looks like these guys, I've got this warning, they're just going to be torn to pieces. And he's praying for them to know love. But God is answering his prayer after the man is dead and gone. God is answering the dead man's prayers. Hallelujah. I want to sing some words that this apostle John wrote. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Beloved, let us love one another. We will rise. We will remember the height. The highest we can be is the place, the position of loving one another. And this is our greatest defense against wolves. Oh my goodness, this one's trying to climb and go with me.